Hello everyone, this is Shadow Dragon recording again from the test server. So now there is a new build up. It is 1.3 and it looks like they made some adjustments to try to cater to the various playstyles, which is good news. As I was trying to mention in my previous videos, I wanted them to have the option to kind of play the way it is now with AMs, where you're using powers only, or mostly powers. And then there was the playstyle that I demonstrated the most, where it was like half weapons, half powers. And then they're also catering to a weapons heavy build. So there were some guidelines on the forums on what we should spec into, and it seems like they adjusted the game to cater to all three of those styles. So right now I just did a preliminary respec of ice. I'm actually glad I kept my characters at 116 because I really don't want to move them up until I'm able to test the playability at this level. Sorry, because I still want to constantly test that 113 point because it's a problem on live. And also, like, since my other videos tested that point, it is going to seem boring, but I want this to be a controlled experiment, so I don't want to change that. And I'm going to be playing the same instances, and we'll just see if there's a difference. But first of all, let's take a quick look at what I did. I definitely want weapon mastery, so there are a set number of points spent there. So this is basically my main weapon with the 4 masteries. And then the weapons you're comboing into, you have to buy all the moves. It's not like live where you could skip like 1 or 2 on some of them. So in that sense, you're throwing away a few skill points, but not nearly as many as live. So that's not too much of a problem. You should never forget about your movement mode, or else you're going to be respecking a lot. You're going to be respecking all over if you don't put these in. So with movement mode, you get the the fast speed. Then you have to get one other in order to unlock the innates, and then you just get the 5 innates, same as before. So that left me with 140 on test. On this character, I probably I have less on live. Stat points. They don't have iconic yet. So into stat points, we were told to spec into a mixture of precision and might. Now, those two you might want to adjust because for the hybrid spec, I guess the sky's the limit. Like, you could have a player that uses more might, more powers, or you could have one that leans towards weapons. So this is something to adjust depending on your playstyle. But since this is my first shot at it, I just made everything completely even. So I have precision. Well, I filled up critical attack chance, because that only goes up to 20 anyway, and you're trying to max that out in any build. So I put 25 into attack damage. That goes all the way up to 40, so I don't want to blow all 40 on that, at least for this test. Like, maybe on my higher character, I'll fill that up. So split between that, precision 25, might 25, and I put power 25, and then just for some defense, I put 20 into health, because I did see defensive problems with the previous build that were not consistent with the live server. Okay, so really quickly, let's what I'm going to do is test mimic, like the AM mixed with weapon mastery. Naturally, I'm using those terms, but they don't exist. So I'm just mimicking my playstyle on live, and we'll see how that plays out in the all familiar spark of parallax. I just like using this one as a test because it's nice and short, and you get straight to the boss fight. Now for this one on live as well as the previous test build, if you're 116 doing this, you're OP for it. So we should more or less steamroll through this. But I just want to get a feel for the flow of the weapons into the powers.
I'm not interested in an extended stay on Quar. So let's get the show on the road.
Show some respect, Joe. I carry the spark of the entity parallax within me. The first being to experience fear in this universe. I must transfer it to the central power battery.
Oh wait, actually I forgot to change one thing.
Just don't make me regret this moment.
Yep, this is supposed to be Wintry Tempest. Initially I moved that out because it didn't have like the knockdown power that it did on live. But we'll give it another go.
Sounds like Sinestro bit off more than he could chew. I will feed you to parallax. What? Larry? What's happening? We need to get in there, fast.
That spark! Forget Sinestro! Get the spark! They will take it for atrocities!
Whatever they've done, it's caused Sinestro to lose the spark. If they get away with this, we'll all be in big trouble. We must get the spark. You know about Sinestro. I'll make sure that Leeds and her buddies don't go anywhere.
He's got some anniversary feats for doing random stuff here, for defeating ads in the solo.
My ring is fake. It's not. He was going to take down Leeds and her dogs. I will do what I can.
so far this feels right, as far as the powers going into each other and mixing weapons in. Obviously, the character is weaker here than on live, but by a lot. Because on live, this whole instance would be done already. But here I am stuck on bleeds. The other thing is the cooldowns still haven't changed. So no single power seems to be spammable really. Wait, really quick, let me see if I can change something. I really should have Arctic Gust in here. I can't find it though. It's probably not going to let me change it. Okay, it did. Alright. Okay, at least Arctic Gust is spam. Now let me try that on the boss. Yeah, this is a lot harder than live. Power regen is not bad. Like, after a weapon combo, you'll definitely gain back enough for one move. But yeah, that was 8 minutes, including the cutscenes. If we're talking about live at 1:16 with ice, this would be like less than 4 minutes. So, as far as the speed of combat, it's going to be much worse with this build. So that affects like the convenience of a lot of things. Yeah, it's like if you have limited time, you're trying to fit as many things in as possible, and if everything gets like over twice as long, that's less of the game to be played. But I don't know, so far, I mean, this is an improvement over 1.1 and 1.2. I was completely unhappy with those. So the hybrid style does work a little bit better here. It's just going to take like some adjusting maybe. The other feedback about this is like when we have the stat points all cleaned up like this, I mean, it's definitely easier to respec and stuff. But the problem I see with this format is like if you're new or you're not familiar with this, it's way too easy to make a completely wrong build. Even though the live one you're wasting a lot of points, there's some guidance though, because you're building weapon by weapon and then you're adding stats little by little. So there's like damage control if you do something wrong. But like this one, you could go all the way the wrong way. Because also, if you think about, the average skill points for players out there, like on test they're giving us 176. I think that's far from the average. I mean, you're gonna have a lot of people with 60 because of the skip. But when people don't skip, they're like around 50 or below. So, like, if you think about blowing skill points on this tree, it's going to be a very small percentage of the stats you're building towards. Because think about it, like if you put, let's say you spec into one weapon plus your movement mode, you're going to be using like 15 there maybe. So if you had 50 skill points, that leaves you with 35 to use here. So, I mean, someone could easily throw it all into one thing. And if they did it wrong, they'd be playing with basically no stats, no stat bumps from skill points. So like if you're a DPS and you put like everything into VIT, also, like, you see the way I spread it out and how much weaker the character is compared to live. So I think there are some problems with that. Like, when I envisioned a stats revamp, I actually pictured every character becoming stronger because, I mean, I didn't think they were going to redo the game this much. I thought they were just going to give us like this new tree format where it's more optimized. Like, can you imagine like the live trees all cleaned up where you get all powers and you're not spending weapon moves or power moves to get to another. If you have that concept with the live build, you're going to have a lot of extra skill points. But I think they bumped up the max like too high. And content is possibly scaled on the max. Like maybe that solo would have been faster if I had like a higher percentage of each of these. So as of now, you probably need a ton of skill points to get your characters here equivalent to what's on live. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. But anyway, let me cut this off here for now because I want to get to a quick sorcery test as well. So I will see you again on Takesis when I test sorcery. But anyway, thanks for watching.